Welcome back to the Unholier podcast, where we question what we were taught, unpack the beliefs that shaped us, and we aren't afraid to wander into the spiritual gray areas we were told to avoid. Today's episode is one of those conversations that might have gotten us side-eyed or even rebuked in church. We're diving into the spiritual realm with Kirsten, a psychic medium. She answers questions like what happens when we die, how loved ones may still contact us after they've passed, and what exists beyond the physical world that we see. Some of us were taught that spirits, mediums, angels, and demons were things to fear or flat out deny. But what if fear was the point? Today's conversation goes where we were told not to go, beyond death, beyond doctrine, and into the unseen. As always, this episode isn't about telling you what to believe. It's about giving you permission to wonder. So let's get started. Kirsten, how would you personally define the term psychic medium?
That is a really good question. And there are so many of us that will probably have a different definition. But for me personally, a psychic medium is somebody that can tap into someone's energy. For myself, I can see past, present, future, which would be the psychic part. Medium is where you are connecting to your loved ones, people that have passed away, angels, spirit guides, higher beings, and that would be more of the medium. So that's what, like, you're in the middle. So you're up here connecting, and then they're connecting to you in the medium, and then you're down here, and so it just comes in. That's why you're the medium.
Okay.
One thing about psychic, though, I teach my students this, and this is really, really important for people that get readings or if they're trying to enhance their psychic abilities. Not all psychics are mediums. So just because you may be able to tap into someone's energy and you're very empathic, or maybe you're getting some future things or you have premonition, doesn't automatically make you connect with people's loved ones. That is very, very big, because sometimes that it can get confusing in our industry because people are think, oh, she's a psychic, she can just tap into loved ones, and that's not technically the case. Because when you want to tap into someone's loved ones, you want to make sure that you really are tapping into someone's loved one. And like what I do is called evidential. So it's like I'll give evidence that this is that person type thing. But all mediums are psychic. So you can't be a medium unless you have some sort of psychic ability. So it's kind of
Okay.
confusing, but very important, especially when you're seeking readings, that you know the difference. Because everybody say, oh, yeah, I'm a psychic. I can flip cards or do dowsing rods, or like I don't use anything. I use a piece of paper and a pen, and I just, automatic write, or I don't use anything. But a lot of times people will say, oh, I'm a psychic, so I'm a medium. But to me, doing mediumship is so incredibly responsible and important. Even doing future readings, that's a huge responsibility. But when you're connecting with somebody's loved one that has passed away, especially depending how they passed away or how long it's been, or there's no closure, I don't take that lightly. That's very important work to me. And so that's why I am very strongly say this is what a psychic medium is, because it's not always the case with some psychics.
Yeah, I'm so glad you clarified that though, because I do feel like people just assume that psychics can also talk to people who have passed. And I'm glad you clarified that. So interesting that you say like a psychic is somebody who's able to read energy. My husband, I swear sometimes, and even me sometimes, I feel like I'm like an empath. So I just really feel energy in a room. And because of that, I do get anxiety sometimes because I feel like the energies are affecting me very deeply. And that's kind of scary because sometimes you don't know where it's going to be. Like I could just walk into a restaurant and all of a sudden I'll have like a negative feeling, like a bad energy. And I'm like, drink, please.
Right? You think you'll numb it, but sometimes you enhance that. But
Yeah, that's a good point.
So everybody is born with some sort of empathic or psychic ability. Okay. So we all have
Oh, okay.
senses. We all have 5 to 6 senses. So your clairvoyance, clairaudience, clairsentience, we all have a third eye. Everybody has feels because we're emotional, right? If you can feel, if you feel anything emotionally, you're somewhat of an empathic. It just depends on how empathic you are. Are you accepting it? Are you avoiding it? Are you shutting it down? Are you willing to use it? And I
Mm.
just did a huge class on this Monday about being empathic and how to use it as the good, meaning it's the best gift you can ever have. And you're born with it. Just like everybody has an intuition. You know how you have a gut instinct?
Mm-hmm.
That's your intuition. So you're born with that. And so some people are just more enhanced with it or enhance it more so they can use that ability. And then some people just don't want nothing to do with it. And that's fine too. But every single person that walks this earth has some sort of ability. You're born
Mm.
with it. Every single person has it. So for you to be empathic, I'm not shocked with that at all, especially coming from your background, because your background is it, part of your empathic self helped you figure out this doesn't feel right to me anymore.
Mm-hmm.
This isn't okay with my soul anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you've done steps to remove yourself or put a boundary up
Yes.
from.
Yes, that is accurate.
Yeah. Yeah. So to me, I'm like, oh my gosh, you used your gift. Good for you because you
Oh.
allowed yourself to feel it. When you walk into a restaurant and you feel that negative energy, it's not that you technically have to leave, but it's like being aware. Just like, okay, something feels off. I'm gonna feel it out. I'm gonna go mind my own business, but if it still feels bad, I either need to go or I just need to stay in my little corner.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a way to guide you through your life. And
Mm-hmm.
our intuition is there to guide us for the good, not for the bad. It never, never, never lies to you, ever, ever lies. Your head and your heart, they can mess us up a little bit. They can give us
Mm-hmm.
false information, insecurity. They work on fear, but not your intuition. It is there for your highest good, always and forever.
Okay, so is that like a spirit guide kind of? Or because in the church they would say like your intuition is more or less like the Holy Spirit telling you or guiding you or whatever. Is it similar to that?
Yes, yes. And that's a great question because we are all born with a spirit guide. We have our birth guide, and then we have like all these other guides that come around us at different times in our life. Every single one of us is born with a guardian angel of some sort. I call it a birth angel. Everyone has one or two birth angels. And so, yes, those are the ones that are helping us, guiding us, giving that information. I call them downloads. And yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's so cool. I love that. And I've heard you talk about that, the guardian angel or birth angel on Brittany Racine's podcast, Mike It Loud. And if you guys haven't heard the episodes that she has done on Brittany's podcast, go to the Mike It Loud podcast on Spotify or any podcast platform and YouTube. They're so interesting. You guys get into a lot of this kind of stuff. I definitely want to talk about this. So, when I was born, 3 weeks after I was born, I had a near death experience. My grandmother, who I was very close with my whole entire life till she passed away about 13 years ago, she found me in my crib and I was not breathing. And so, luckily, my dad happened to be home that day. They had a doctor that lived behind their house, and my dad ran me over to the doctor. They were able to resuscitate me and then get me to the hospital. And I was in the hospital for about a month. They did all kinds of tests, never figured out what was wrong with me. And they kind of just chucked it up to what they would call crib death back in the day or SIDS, that I was able to be caught before I actually passed. So, is there anything like about like near death experiences? Because my husband also had a near death experience. He was an adult when it happened to him. He was actually impaled.
Oh,
Um, yeah, he had a crazy experience. So we both have near death experiences. Is there anything to a near death experience?
Oh, 100%. There's so many things.
Okay.
this might take like hours, but we'll just
Okay. I mean, you can always come back for a second or third. I mean, I'm good with it. Whatever. I mean, because I have so many questions. I haven't even scratched the surface yet.
okay, I love it. I love it. So near death is a lot of different things. So if you believe in past lives, it could be a connection with a past life that is
Okay.
connected to this lifetime. It can be a walk-in. Have you ever heard of a walk-in?
Who's walking in?
So when you, I'm going right like mostly from your situation
Okay.
because what can happen, we have the best way to say it's like we have soul contracts. I think I brought that up at Brittany's too. And
Yes.
in that soul contract, we set our exit date, which would be our death date. Set we
Are you
already
serious? So we know, but we don't like
don't
consciously
remember.
know.
No,
Oh
because we
my
can't
gosh.
alter. We gotta it's like we write the screenplay, right? Our soul contract. And then here we are. Now we're just playing out that screenplay that we wrote. So we're just the actors in our own little movie, basically, right?
Wow. Okay.
But we know we have set our exit date. We have set like how we're going to pass, when we're going to pass, who's going to be with us, who's not going to be with us. It's already set in our contract. But
Mm.
a walk-in can be, and this may be a good episode later because there's so much into it. But a
Okay.
walk-in is when, like, say your little soul decided, okay, I'm going to exit, and then another soul walks into your body, which would allow you to come back to life or
Whoa.
happen that way. That is called what we call a walk-in. Very fascinating. I've met only a few in my life. It's not very common, but it can definitely happen. It can happen even when you're older in life. So, like, say for your husband, it could have been one of those things. So, like, say he's a certain character, certain personality. Say he's, maybe he had trauma in his life and has a hothead. You know what I mean? Like, say, and then all of a sudden he has a near death experience, and then somebody walks in and he's a totally different person from then on out. You're just like, who are
Mhm.
you? Like, I don't even know. It could
Wow.
be another
Yeah.
soul entering into his body. So it's like one soul leaves, and so because we're just a vessel, that's all we are,
Right.
you know.
Right.
And that,
Okay.
so that's
Yeah,
kind of
we're like a meat suit. I've heard it say we're like a meat suit.
yeah. So that could be one scenario, right? Of why you have a near death and then you come back to life. Okay. Another
Okay.
one could be where it is definitely not your time. Like, it's not in your contract for that to happen to you. This is not supposed to happen. And so, like, our higher beings up there intervene and help you come back to life. Some of it
Okay.
is a lesson, a life lesson, not only for you, but for mostly for your family or whoever's involved with you. It could be a lesson from them, from another past life, or from this lifetime, but you set that up. You set up your, like, for you to almost pass away. Like, you set that up, right? In your contract. And there's a
Okay, so who am I writing this contract with? Like when you're up there before you come down.
your
Huh?
high maker, your maker.
Okay.
So
Okay.
you call them God,
Got it. Yeah.
universe, whatever your choice of words are. I always say whatever makes flowers grow for you, whatever you want to call it. That's who you make it with.
Okay.
And then, so here's the thing, when you're doing those soul contracts, the reason you're doing them is because you're here. This is like earth school. You're here to learn lessons. So, like, if you had another past life and you didn't learn all your lessons in that lifetime, you're going to come on this lifetime and learn them, or hopefully
Okay.
learn them. So you're
Yeah.
going to repeat them. But each time you come back, they're a little bit harder. So you definitely try to learn them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I definitely want to learn them.
And everybody in your life has probably been some form in your past life. So it doesn't mean, like, say your mom was in your past life, doesn't mean she's your mom in this lifetime.
Hmm.
And you can be male or female. You can even
Okay. Yeah, that's so interesting. So there have been times where, especially because I grew up in church, I was in church like most of my life and then got out of church, of course. But the whole like concept of different people, but same like person, I agree with that totally because there were people in my dad's church that I grew up with where there might be a member who had a certain personality who was like a certain way, just like causing problems or whatever, and then they would leave. And then some other family would come and there'd be another person. And it's like, is this the same person in a different body? Like it truly seemed like a different, like it was the same person but a different body. And I've met people even throughout life like that, whereas like this person reminds me of so and so, but it's like a guy or it's a older woman, or you know what I mean, like it's just a different personality or a different person but same personality.
Right.
That's so interesting. Yeah, okay, so you confirmed that for me. I always wondered that.
Yeah,
And the
good.
whole thing about like reincarnation too. So I went to a medium once and she told me that this is my second life, but I'm like, how do you know that it's my second life? And she told me how I died in my first life.
We can, if they'll
Ah.
to us, they'll tell us how, if, so because again, you want to learn. So say you have phobias, say you have a phobia and you're like, I am scared to death of water, but you have no idea why you're scared of water.
Oh my gosh, you said the thing. You said the thing. She told me I drowned it in my first life, and my husband's like, "You don't like water." I'm like, "I don't like water."
I sense that on you that
So
water is not,
weird.
you're not a fan of water. I sense that. So, but that is why you would be afraid of water this
I
lifetime.
like looking at it though. Like we moved near water, but
Mhm.
I'm not gonna go in it.
No, because there is a trauma there that carried over in this lifetime. So can I give a suggestion? I mean,
Sure, yeah.
my suggestion would be that is called a pattern. In my line of work, that would be called a pattern. And so
Okay.
you would want to fix that pattern so you don't have to come back your next lifetime and relive being afraid of water or afraid of those types of things. Because there is a reason why you have a phobia of water is because you need to you need to fix that. You know what I mean?
How do I fix that though? What do I do?
Well, you just gotta baby step it and get whatever makes you comfortable to put your foot in the water and make sure that you feel, that you're not going to drown or you're safe in
Yeah.
the,
Yeah,
whatever.
I can do that, but I say like I'm not going past my knee. Like in the ocean, I'll go into the ocean. I'm not going past my knees. I'm not going to be one of those people that's like out there surfing way out there.
Yeah, no.
I'm good. I'm
No.
good.
But for you to be able to do that, even though you're really uncomfortable, that's already like you're already fixing that pattern. But some
Okay.
people will just avoid it altogether and be like, no way, I'm not even gonna tip my toe in that water. But you're already past that point. So that's good. That's actually,
Okay. I'm
yeah.
making improvements.
Yeah, absolutely. And the fact that you move near like water, like that's huge.
Yeah, well, I felt drawn to like it does bring me a sense of peace
Mhm.
and calm like when I'm on the beach and I'm seeing the water and I'm enjoying and I'm hearing the waves and I love that. It's very calming to me, but to like get in it and be like over my head and swimming and I'm like I'm out. I can't do that.
Yeah.
At least not yet anyway. I'll have to work on it.
But here's the thing with water is soothing and water is about flow of life. And so water is very tranquil. And so it makes sense too. You can have a fear of water, but you can also have a love of water too.
Mm,
So,
okay.
so trying to find your balance.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Like I'll get into a pool, like we have a pool at our Airbnb, and I'll get into a pool, I'll swim, I'll go on the deep end, whatever. But when it comes to like lakes and oceans, I'm probably not gonna go really much past my knees. I'm not, I don't know, because there's things I'm like, there's something that could bite me, or there's like a branch I could get attached to or something.
Yeah. And that makes sense. Like you definitely probably, well, I know you did that you drowned of some sort, but I feel like you were held underwater. Like you weren't, it was one of,
Oh, okay. Oh my gosh. Like
yeah,
held by a person?
or sucked in. Yeah. You feel,
Okay.
I keep doing this. So it makes me
Okay.
feel like maybe you were wrapped in something or a chain or
Yeah.
something, but you're sucked in
Yeah.
and that,
See, and I always picture like when she told me that the one time, I picture like my foot being caught on like a vine or some kind of something in the water that I couldn't
that's
get out.
exactly because I
Yeah.
keep doing this. So something's
Yeah.
wrapped around you and it's holding you in, like it's almost like corded you in down
Yeah.
and there's no way of getting out. And then
Yeah.
all I feel is panic on you. That's all I
Yo,
feel
yeah.
is pure panic.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's weird because when she said, I've actually had dreams about this.
Oh, you would. Yeah.
So, so I would love to get into dreams because dreams are so intriguing to me. My husband was like, you have to ask her this. He he used to, he doesn't anymore. I don't know why it stopped, but for the longest time, for several years, he said he would have a recurring dream where he's like swinging on this rope and there's a red barn and there's like a light above, where the window is on the barn, and he hits the barn and wakes up every single time. And that's it. That's the only dream. That's it. There's nothing else to the dream. It's like there's no other people in it. It's just him swinging, hitting this red barn right under where the light is, and then boom, he's gone. He's waking up.
Did he ever say like it did it look like him? Did he know like did he notice what type of clothing he had on? Was it older? Did it feel like older times? Does it feel like him now? Did he say anything like that?
He didn't say no,
Right.
No, he just said he just would wake up right after, like when he hit the barn. And he said it's just like an over and over. He remembers the barn was red and there was the light above the
Right.
window there. Yeah.
So when we have reoccurring dreams like that, if it's not a premonition dream, which I got no on that when I asked, it could be again something that he's reoccurring from another lifetime. And it could be
Okay.
something because we will, especially your husband to me, when I tap into him, feels very, very empathic, super intuitive. He feels like he has, what month is his birthday?
September. He's a Virgo.
I was gonna say, is he a Virgo?
Yeah, he's a Virgo.
He's very intuitive naturally. So when
Yes, he is.
we have intuitiveness that is naturally, and we can have reoccurring things happen to us.
Okay.
One thing about dreams, though, if it's in this lifetime, dreams usually mean the opposite of what they really are. So, like, and if is it in color? Is it in black and white? You
It's in
know,
color.
if it's in color, then that's more true to what is trying to tell you. Like it could be a message, it could be a premonition thing, it could be
Hmm.
something that you're harvesting inside, like you're like traumatizing or internally thinking of something inside. So one thing when I interpret dreams, I'm like, we got to go to the details and the contents of it and the color of it. And how did you feel in the dream? And then you can kind of decipher, oh, it's really the opposite of what you're dreaming, or this is something that has come as an old memory from another lifetime, or when you were younger, it could be a childhood memory. I mean, there's so much to dreams. They're so incredibly fascinating to me.
Yeah, interesting. I'll have to have him reach out to you and he can tell you more details about
Oh,
it.
yeah, for sure.
But yeah, dreams are always very intriguing. And people who are listening that are very much still like Christian and in church and they read their Bible, dreams are something that are in the Bible. Like there's kings that would have people who would come in and interpret their dreams, and they were often messages from God or from an angel. And so I think there's a lot to be said for dreams for sure. So
They serve a purpose sometimes.
yes, they do, for sure. So for those listening who are curious about like maybe angels and demons, how would you classify? Are they actual beings or is it just more like negative, like light and dark energy, like evil and good or
It's both. So my experience, I can only talk on my experience, but
yeah.
they can actually be beings or they can be energies. So a lot of times, like when I've encountered, and I have encountered some negative energies, demons. I've actually worked on some, like helping them get them out of them. And
Okay, so like exorcism.
yes, yep.
Yeah.
So when we're doing any kind of like healing on somebody that has an entity, like a dark energy, a demon, whatever you want to do, call it. Everybody calls it something different.
Hmm.
It is an actual being that I've seen on some, and then I've actually seen where it's just the essence of an energy in somebody. Because a lot of times that essence of an energy goes into the person's body, right? And that becomes the being of them. Does that make sense?
Does a demon need like a vessel, or can they operate without a
They
source?
can operate without. They definitely can
Okay.
operate without. However, they like to take over a vessel because a lot of times, like when we say angels are here to do work on earth, demons are here to do work on earth as well. So
Hmm.
what you got your good side and your bad side, right? When there's light, there's always dark, and when there's dark, there's always light. So there's always like a shift and balance, right? So
Hmm.
a lot of demons will try to take over a vessel to try to recruit more, if you will, recruit
Okay.
more of the bad energies, the people that do horrible things, trying to get
Yeah.
people not to go with the universe or go with God, if you will. Um,
So is it usually like a person that has influence? Somebody who might have influence and be able to recruit other people?
Absolutely. Mhm.
Okay. Well, that makes sense because there's a lot of pastors I think have that.
I mean, yeah, and they usually pick people that are leaders or have their own past traumas that they've never really dealt with. So there's a lot of like that insecure, lower vibration. Like in my world, we talk about frequencies, vibration. The higher your
Oh, I love that. Yes.
higher you vibrate, the harder any kind of negative energy can get to you. So demons, bad energy, whatever you want to call it, can't get to you if you are on a high vibration. So, and here's the other thing: nothing dark or nothing negative, bad, dark, whatever you want to call it, can get to you unless you let it. So
Hmm.
there's no power. They have zero power unless you give them the power. So, like,
Okay. I have two questions.
okay,
How do you know? Okay, give us some examples of what would put somebody on a low vibration or low frequency.
okay, that's a great question. Negative, very negative people, like doomsday all day long. So
Okay,
that,
so like listening to the news is putting people on a low vibration. I tell people this all the time. Oh, I'm like, stop listening to the news.
yeah,
Freaking
I don't even,
propaganda.
yeah, I do not even listen to the
I
news.
don't either.
I'm a little bit aware, but I don't want to
Yes,
know.
same.
No.
Yeah.
Um,
Okay, so that right there.
right there, anything that is going to change your energy to like, ugh, like you're drained, you're like, oh, everything's a chore and you're fighting all the time and you just have these negative thoughts constantly going through. You can't see anything positive, it's only negative. You're always waiting for the shoe to drop. Just a really negative feel or
Mhm.
talk or person, you know.
Okay.
Criminal, obviously they're in a low vibration,
Oh
right?
yeah, that's tough.
So people that are trying to recruit people in a bad way, not in a good way, you know.
Mhm.
um I hate to use this word, but a lot of narcissistic people have a
Mhm.
lower vibration, though they come across like they're woohoo, but they're
Mhm.
really a really dark, lower vibration. And so
Yeah.
I usually, if I come encounter with anybody that has narcissistic tendencies, now let me rephrase that. If you're a full blown narcissist, I'm like, whoa, you're so low, you're negative, whatever,
Right.
you're low vibration. Some
Mhm.
people, everybody has some sort of narcissistic tendencies. We just do. We're human, right? We have human
Right.
tendencies. But it depends on how far they go with it. So some
Mhm.
narcissistics, I can't say that they're super low vibration, but they're lower than probably like I would be, or maybe you would be, if that
Mhm.
makes any sense.
Yes, that makes total sense. My ex-husband was a full-blown narcissist. So I get it. I get it. Yeah, my therapist is like, he's a narcissist. I'm like, no, really? Okay. I didn't know that. Oh my gosh. But I know the term is a bit overused these days. I get it. But we all have narcissistic tendencies. Yes, I agree with that as well. So, my second question was when you say that people can invite the negative spirits in or the evil spirits in or the demon in or whatever, do they have to like specifically say like, come on in? Like, what are they doing or do they even know? You know what I'm
Oh,
saying? Like,
yeah, sometimes they don't know. When they're at a negative vibration, they don't even know that sometimes because they just live down there. That's normal for them. But
okay.
basically, it's fear. Fear is the number one
Oh.
key to having any kind of like a dark entity or anything to come to you. If you're fearful, that is what they prey on. They literally like suck it right up. They love that. So they'll put fear thoughts in your mind. They'll have you like watch the news and become feared because of, and not leave your house because you're so worried about what's going to happen to you,
Mm-hmm.
that type of thing. So fear is the number one thing that they can get to you.
Okay, that's so interesting because the Bible actually does talk about that. How does somebody overcome something like that? Like, say, of course, turn the television off, turn the radio, whatever. But like, truly on a spiritual level, how are they able to, like, say they have a bad spirit or a bad energy attached to them? How do they get rid of that?
So lifting up your vibration, start doing affirmations, start wanting to be around more positive people, finding groups that make them feel good about themselves, doing one good thing that makes them happy. What makes you happy? Do one thing a day that makes you happy and one thing a day that makes someone else happy. And that will start.
Oh, I love that. Hmm.
Gratitude, be thankful. I am constantly saying thank you. Like this morning when I was driving in the snow, I was just like, oh, thank you for letting me get here, thank you for letting me turn right, not go into the tree. Like I'm constantly sending love. Love is the number one healing modality ever. You can heal anything just with love, but you got to love yourself. So
Yeah.
loving you, say, I love who I am today. I love that I did that today. I love that I'm trying to be a better person. And so just sending that love to yourself and sending love to others. So, you know how when somebody might hurt our feelings or we might get really frustrated, something may happen. So,
Hmm.
and, take a minute, cry in your Cheerios for a hot second, and then what I do is I say, you know what, I'm sorry that this happened. I don't like what happened. My feelings are really hurt. My heart hurts, but I'm going to send this person love and I'm not going to take it personal anymore. And I'm just going to send them love and pray that things work out. And I let it go the best that I
Hmm.
can. Now, can I always let everything go? No, because I'm human, but I do my best. One thing
Hmm.
about fear that I teach everybody, and I practice this every single day, if I get fearful about something, instead of being, oh, like this, I get excited about fear because
Hmm.
on the other side of fear is always personal growth. So
Hmm.
because fear is a stopper, right? So fear is designed to stop you in your tracks. That's what it's designed for. Insecurities, self doubt, all of that. That's all fear. So if I'm like, oh, what am I doing? I'm no good at this. Nobody's going to want to come to me. I'm like, whoa, no. I'm sabotaging myself because
Hmm.
I want more growth. I thrive on growth. I want to be a better person. So I get excited about fear. So when I feel fear, I'm like, yes, bring it. And then I plow through it because I know I'm growing on the other side. And and that will keep your vibration up.
Okay, I love that you embrace it and go through it instead of retract and be like, I don't want to deal with this. I love that. I need to learn that more often. And I also love that you were like, okay, so the opposite of fear is like gratitude and love.
Mhm.
So everyone turn your TV off, turn your radio off, be grateful, figure out, how to love yourself. And because, like, I agree with what you said about like loving yourself first. And one of the things that we were taught in the church growing up was basically you are not supposed to love yourself, which I think is totally wrong. We were taught that we have to deny ourselves. So love isn't directed towards us. Self-esteem is actually evil, all the things that are not true. And once I got out of that cult, I started realizing like I don't even know what I like to do, what kind of music I like to listen to, even what my favorite color is. Like I had not experienced any of those things because I was always told like I couldn't, and it wasn't about me. It was never about me. And
Mhm.
then once I was able to break away from that, I was able to really kind of find myself and come into my own and be like, okay, like it's okay to love myself. I had to actually like accept that. And it was hard to open myself up to that because I felt like I'm being really selfish right now or feeling like narcissistic kind of in a way. I think that is totally true. You have to love yourself first. And, even the Bible says God is love. So why aren't we teaching more of that?
Yeah, because one thing, nobody can love you if you can't love yourself. And if you can't love yourself, maybe someone loves you, but you're not going to let them fully love you because you're
Hmm.
not going to think that you're worthy of it.
Right. That's the word. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You feel unworthy. Yeah.
Yeah. And the other
Exactly.
thing I do to help people change like their vibration is I always say, and I live by this, I swear to you, I live by this. If anything I'm seeing, hearing, watching, whatever changes my emotion or my energy, not to a higher vibrate, like not a happy and makes me feel like, or makes me feel like, oh my God, goodbye. I don't deal
Yeah.
with it. I don't deal with it. I deal with it, but I don't absorb it, I should say. I don't
Hmm.
absorb things. I refuse to absorb things, especially because you're empathic. I'm very empathic. So us empaths we absorb things without even knowing we're absorbing it.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
I always ground and I always bubble myself. I shield myself. I'm constantly protecting myself because I'm so empathic. And even though, it's a beautiful gift, it's not our job to absorb the world. It's not
Hmm.
our job to absorb our neighbor's situation.
Hmm.
We can be there and we can hold space for them and we can send
Hmm.
them love and try to help heal them, but it's not our job to take it on. And
Hmm.
as empaths and as loving beings and just light workers, because every single person that has a heart is pretty much a light worker, we want to help people. We want to fix things. But it's not really our job to.
Hmm.
And I had to
Yeah.
learn, and that was hard because I'm a
Hmm.
healer, right?
Hmm.
That's what I do. And so my first thing is like, let me heal you. I can heal you. But the person that wants the healing has to really want the healing and they have to be ready for it, or you're
Hmm.
going to butt up against what I call resistance. And that is so incredibly hard. And with you, where your background, I'm sure there was a lot of resistance that you got all the time, you
Oh
know?
yeah. Yeah. And I was always questioning things too, which was like looked at as rebellious. Like, don't question. And I'm like, yeah, but make it make sense. I don't understand this. Why this? Why that? Why isn't it this? Why, it's like, don't worry about it. Just it's by faith. Everything's by faith. But you mentioned grounding. So I love that you mentioned that because I think it's important for people to understand what grounding is and how can they ground themselves if they're in a negative space. I know for me, going outside, taking my shoes off, grounding myself to the earth, because the earth does have frequency and vibration to it as well that is able to stabilize us and get us back into a better vibration. Are there other methods of grounding that you would recommend?
Absolutely. That is the best. Absolutely. Hands down. Go hug a tree, stick your hand in dirt and a plant if you're not outside. Listen to certain types of frequencies can help you, grounding frequencies. That helps a lot. Just planting your feet. You can be anywhere and visualize roots coming out from underneath your feet into the ground, asking Mother Earth to absorb you, pretending you're a tree, visualizing you're a tree. Sometimes I'll hold right in the heart center. I'll take a deep breath in and say, I'm grounded, I'm grounded, I'm grounded. And all of a sudden I'll feel this, putting a bubble around you, protecting you. There are so many different ways that works. Wearing grounding jewelry, that works as well. And so I'll put it on and ask it to ground me and protect me. And that works. I mean, there's so many different things that you can do for
Now, is
ground.
it like a certain gemstone that you're wearing or
Yes, I wear anything. I don't know if you can see it. I got a lot on. I tend to have a
oh,
lot.
it's really pretty. Yeah.
So there's an evil eye on there. So this little blue evil eye, and then that's of course protection. Anything brown, black, or red is any kind of jewelry with brown, black, or red is grounding protection, and it's going to help you stay nice and grounded. Especially
Okay.
if you have a lot of like crazy dreams, or if you're astral projector while you sleep, wearing one of these like tiger eye or obsidian, jet, sugnite, any of those kind of crystals, red jasper, putting it under your pillow or something like that. Oh my gosh, it's going to help you not go so far in your dreams, or remember your dreams, or it's going to help you not travel so far, while you're sleeping.
What is an astro projector?
So basically, you probably do. I'm pretty much sure you do. But when you go to sleep and you travel, so it's like your body's in bed, but your soul is out and it's playing out in the ethers. And you wake up and you're exhausted. You're just like, why am I so
Always
tired?
tired when I wake up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're probably traveling. Or if you have these crazy like dreams and none of them make sense and you just feel like, what was that? And you feel as if it really happened. You can't decipher if it's real life or if it's a dream. But
Yes.
sometimes you can come back and you feel wiped out, but you don't remember anything. Like you're just like, I can't remember anything, but gosh, I'm exhausted, you know?
Yeah. Oh,
Yeah,
I get that a lot.
yeah, yeah. Well,
Okay, so I'm just like leaving my body at night and I'm just like, ta-da, what can I get into?
yeah, you
Cool.
some people go and heal and help and and then some people just go and explore and play and and then if you can get really good at it, like you can learn a lot about it and you can dictate where you want to go, how often you want to go. I don't want to go tonight. That's what I do. Like I love to go,
Mhm.
but I like to do things while I'm there. So like take me somewhere that somebody needs my help and let me
Mhm.
just escape for a while and feel like I'm on a vacation, even because I haven't taken one in forever, that type of thing. And then, or
Okay.
I can be like, you know what, I really would like to actually sleep tonight, so I don't want to go anywhere.
Yeah. So like am I saying that to like my angel or am I saying that to myself? Like, hey, chill for tonight. You need to just rest or hey, let's go help someone.
Yeah.
It,
So I'm talking to I call my spirit team. So that's my angel,
okay.
yourself, that's my guides, that's any being that is helping me. And that I let them like, hey, we're off duty tonight.
I love that. Okay, so like instead of a glam squad, we got like a spirit squad. I love that. All right, squad, tonight's mission.
We want to go to
Yeah. Want to go someplace tropical and lay on the beach. Just chill tonight. We're just chilling. Maybe sip on some margaritas. Are you guys good at that? Cool.
no action. I'm all for it. Yeah. Yeah.
Oh my gosh, this is so fun. So I have some questions about what happens when we die. Are you cool to go there with this
Oh, I
subject?
love talking about this. I do.
Okay. Okay, so we're talking about what happens when a person dies. Like what is the first thing, like the moment they die, what are they experiencing or seeing or whatever? Because I'll tell you real quick before you answer that. My dad passed away a few years ago.
Sorry.
And we were there. He was in his home. He had hospice and everything, so we knew it was coming. He passed of dementia, but like the a couple days before he went unconscious for the rest of the time, but a couple days before, he had what people refer to as like a rally day
Mhm.
where he was himself for the first time in a few years prior to that because for the longest time he couldn't even really form a sentence because his dementia had really taken over his speech and his motor skills and all this kind of stuff. And he was like saying sentences to me. And one of the things that he said to me, and I thought I wanted to ask you because I thought he said it the way that he said it because of his dementia, but then I don't know. And I need you to tell me because this has really been bothering me. He said to me, he said he loved me, and he said, I'm going to miss you when you're gone. And I said, and I kind of laughed and I said, Dad, I'm not going anywhere. You don't have to worry. I'm going to be here with you. It's fine. And he just kind of smiled. And I thought that was so weird. And then the other thing is there was a moment, I think it was later that evening, that the family was around. It was my kids and my husband, my mom, my brother, and we were all sitting around. And all of a sudden, he opens his eyes, he looks up towards the ceiling, and he got this. It didn't even look like him. It was almost like his face had like shape shifted. That's the only way I can explain it. And he got this big smile on his face and his eyes got real wide and he was looking around the room almost like he was seeing something. And that was the last time he was awake. Like after that, he fell asleep and never woke up and he passed. So the moment that I kept telling my mom, I'm like, I feel like he's already gone. Like his body is still, because I kept trying to tell her, I'm like, your body is like a machine, right? It's still like, but it's shutting down little by little. But I feel like he's already left his body. And she didn't like totally agree with me. She's like, no, he's still here. He's just in transition or whatever. And I had the weirdest thing happen to me. I know I'm like giving you a bunch at once, but hopefully you can break it down for me. When he passed, it was just me, my mom, and my brother. My husband was on his way to the house. My dad's brothers were on their way to the house, but nobody made it in time. So it was just me, my brother, and my mom in the room, and the hospice nurse. And for whatever reason, something said to me when she said he's gone, I had this urge to open up the window in the bedroom. I don't know why. I was like, I have to open this window. That was the first thing I did. Like everyone's crying, like the nurse is doing her thing, and my mom and brother are crying. I'm like, wait, I gotta open the window. Why? I know that's a lot. I'm like, I'm
No,
so weird.
no, it's not weird. I love this. Opening up the window is your way of like letting him go. Like you're like, he's free now, basically. Like he can
Okay.
out the window. He was already gone. You were right. He was gone. What happens is like they're a shell. They become a shell and then their body mechanics finish doing what they're doing, but he was already removed from the body. So
Yeah, I felt that.
yeah, you could feel it. The thing that he said to you is it's not, I think what I heard is he was misspoke. It's
That's what I thought, but I wasn't sure.
yeah, when
Okay.
I'm gone. Yeah, I
Okay.
instantly heard I was supposed to say when I'm gone. That's what I
Yeah.
heard. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. But
Okay.
what it's
I'm
crazy.
like, where am I going? Am I going somewhere? Maybe on
So,
one of my nightly adventures that I take.
right,
with
right.
my spirit squad. I'm gonna go somewhere else.
Right. So the number one thing when we pass is we're already out of our bodies. We know what's going on. We are pretty much looking down, looking around, and they
Are
can
we scared? Can we feel emotion?
you can feel emotion, but they're not scared at that point, so
Okay.
they are definitely being greeted by their past loved ones that died before them. Angels are always there, and so they literally guide them over to the other side, and there's no pain, there's no nothing. They don't take anything with them. They don't take any of that with them. Then once they get to the other side and they get greeted and they say their hellos and everything, then they go into another place, and in that place they go into what's called life review. And have you heard of that before?
Yes, I have heard of that. Yes.
So life review, and we have to do it, they do it, our animals do it when they pass. We have to look at our life from the moment that we were born to the moment that we pass away. And why do we do that is because we got to look at our soul contract, right? We got to see,
Oh
like,
my gosh.
we have to look at everything, the good, the bad, the ugly, all of it.
Mm.
And what did we learn? What did we learn in this lifetime? Did we learn anything? And oh goodness, I didn't learn that. Oh my gosh, I should have handled that situation better. So like when I do
Mm.
readings for people and I bring their people through, I cannot tell you how many times they're just like, during my life review, I seen what I should have, how I should have acted at, or I'm sorry I wasn't there for you, or they realize that they didn't realize when they were alive. And they
Hmm.
have all these beautiful, profound things to say sometimes. Not all the time,
Mm.
but most of the time. And then
Yeah.
once they get done with their life review, now their life review, they can be in there a long time. Like they can be in there for a month, they can be in there for a year, they can be in there for 4 months. I mean, nobody really knows. It's really on how they're willing to look at their life, what they're willing to learn. So when they do, if they have to come back in another lifetime to learn the lessons that they didn't learn in this lifetime, they're starting to figure out what they're going to have to learn the next lifetime. They never are reincarnated in the same lifetime. It can take decades, it can take 50 years, 100 years. I mean, I don't know. We don't know. It just depends.
Wow. Okay, cool. So even with my past life, it could have been like a century ago or even multiple centuries ago. Like it doesn't have to be, or it wouldn't be within the same like lifetime. Like say I passed away when I was a baby, I'm not going to come back in that same time frame. Okay.
No, No, because what
Okay.
happens is we have lessons, like we learn the lessons, but we have to do work up there. Like we have a great time, don't get me wrong. But
Mhm.
from what Spirit has showed me and told me, they also have to prepare themselves and do the work so they can come back and when they're supposed to come back. But they've already got to heal pieces of them that they didn't heal when they were alive.
Wow.
And
Okay,
they
so if
fun though.
somebody, what would you say? I'm sorry.
Really do have fun. It's not all work, but yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's so cool. Okay, so what if somebody comes to you and they want to see if, like, say their parent comes through and their parent passed like a few years ago. What if they don't come through? What does that sometimes mean? Are they still like in life review and they're like busy or they're doing something else or
It could be. Sometimes it could be they're in the life review, and when most of the time, sometimes I can connect with them in life review, but most of the time, you're not supposed to interrupt them in life review. It could be that someone else needed to speak to you more than they did. It could be they're off doing their own little thing and they just didn't come through. It could be that their parents are not comfortable with maybe the reader.
Oh,
Maybe
okay.
they weren't connecting with the reader very well. It could be they just, it has nothing to do with not missing loving. It has nothing to do with that. It's a lot of the vibration and the
Mhm.
reader and what are they doing.
So what happens to a person like somebody that say like dies suddenly? Do they know that they're deceased immediately or are they confused? Like are they in like a
It depends on the person. It depends on the situation. It depends on how fast they were removed from their body. But I've read from many, many people that they they had no idea what happened to them. They were like looking down on themselves or thinking, what just happened? And then some
Mm,
people don't always go to the light because they're called earthbounds. And sometimes they choose not to go to the light because of fear, like, I don't know, like, or they got ripped out of their bodies so quickly that they don't think they're gone yet. It could be because they feel like they still have work to do here and they're not ready to go. You know, can they always go into the light later down the road? Absolutely, they can. But
mhm.
sometimes they choose not to go, and so they literally walk among us. And they're not there to harm us, but they're literally around us all the time and we don't even know it.
So how would a person know if they have this ability to communicate with people who have passed or these earthbounds? How would somebody know if they have this ability?
You're gonna feel it. You're gonna feel it. You're gonna start, things are gonna start showing up. Coincidences are gonna be like all of a sudden you're gonna feel like, I swear there's something is there something behind me? Or you might feel like a nudge, or things might start missing. Like all of a sudden your keys are gone, and it's,
That's my husband every day.
I mean, sometimes you can have a spirit that's in heaven come down to be a jokester. There's that. But a lot, but there are some that literally are trying to get your attention.
Okay.
All of a sudden you're going to feel like you're not yourself. You're going to start talking like, I don't talk like this. Like, what is this? Because they're trying to talk through you. They're
Oh,
going to
okay.
start doing, maybe, I hate to say like scare you. They're not there to scare you, but you're going to like see like a door shut or something. You're like, what the heck's going on? You're
Yeah.
going to have, I call them truth chills. You're going to have like goosebumps constantly. You're going to feel frozen all the time, not just because of the temperature, but you know the difference. You definitely know the difference. You're
Okay, so they don't give you like hot flashes. Like I get hot flashes that doesn't come from that.
I mean,
Is it a spirit or is it my perimenopause? I need to know.
so that is when you have to ask. You literally
Yeah.
say, is this my menopause or is this someone? And the first thing I say is this menopause. And the first feeling I get, or the first thing that pops in my head, yes, no. If
Okay.
it's if it says no, then you're like, is there a spirit in here? Yes or no? Yes. Okay. Woo. Okay. I'm not pre-menopausal. Okay. It's,
Yeah. Yeah. Okay.
and then you have the power to send them away. Like it is a law. Like they have to follow that. So like if you say, I don't want you here. Thank you for coming. Good luck to you, but please go away. They have to obey by that.
Okay. Let's talk about that for a minute because that's very interesting. Okay, so spirit laws, like what kind of rules do they have and what kind of power do we have as human beings?
Okay, so they pretty much have to do what we pretty much say. Okay, so like if
Okay.
we don't want to connect with them, we can tell them to go away. My thing as a reader, I think the ethics are very, very important. Very, very, very important. I will never, ever read somebody without permission. So I never want to scare anybody. I don't want people to be afraid to walk in a room thinking like I'm downloading everything. I don't want that. That's too much, you know?
Sure. Yeah.
So ethically, I always say ask permission to read somebody, and then when you do that, even in a reading, even if it says like you're down for a psychic medium reading, I always ask you, are you okay with me opening up the door and letting spirit come through? I'm getting your permission. I always get your permission. Not all readers do that, but that's just something. I'm a big boundary person. So
Yeah.
when it comes to spirit, there are certain things that, here's the thing, if you're not supposed to know, so if they think that you're going to alter your timeline and you're not doing it organically because you already have it set up in your soul contract, they will not share it with me, or they will not share it with you. So there are times when you might ask a question and I'll get nothing. And because it's not for you to know, or me to know, or me to tell you.
Okay.
If for some reason, one of the things that people will always ask, when am I going to die? I can't tell you how many. They're not going to tell me that, because that could alter the timeline.
Do they ever tell you like how the person is going to die?
No, because I can alter that. I can It's called
Okay.
blueprint.
Oh, okay. So that's like vault information. They're not giving that information up, the date or the type of way. Okay.
No, because if I tell you and
You're gonna avoid it.
you have that in your contract, or you're going to obsess by it, and you're going to create like trickling effect of all these other things that are supposed to happen for you. It's not my
Mm,
job to alter free will. That's not my job
okay.
to do that.
Oh, that's
So,
so interesting. So it's kind of like that movie, The Butterfly Effect, right? Did you
never
ever see that?
seen
It's
it.
the same type of thing. So like you change one thing or you learn something that is going to happen and then you avoid that, which then it's this whole like domino effect of things that change the course of everything in the person's life. It's
Right.
pretty interesting.
I have
Um,
to. You're the second person that brought it up in the last 2 months, so maybe I should watch it. But
yeah.
the other thing too, like with readers, it's all we get. For me, again, talking for me, it's like pieces of a puzzle sometimes, right? So I get a lot of symbols. I might see an image, I might get a feel, I might get a smell, I might hear something, and it's like I have to like piece it together. It's not just one full sentence or one big movie all the time. Sometimes it is, sometimes it isn't. So my perception, I cannot alter that perception, meaning I cannot have something that triggered me. Like, say you're going through something that I went through in the past. I literally have to make sure that I step aside so I don't have any of my ego influence come in because I've had a similar experience. Because then I can alter the message. And so that's why there's such a huge responsibility in my mind when you become a reader, or especially when you're dealing with
Mhm.
people on the other side. Oh my gosh, you have
Yeah.
to make sure that you're getting that perception right, because if I say one word off that maybe your dad said to you, that you might take it the wrong way. And then, oh
Right.
my God, you could be leaving. I'm thinking you're flying high. She talked to her dad. She's all happy. And you're
Yeah.
bawling your head off, like, what did that mean? You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
It's like you have to be really on your game all the time. I always have to be on my game all the time because it's such a healing process,
Mhm.
but it can also turn into not a healing process.
Yeah. Do
So
you ever feel like when you have a session with somebody, like you're either like energized afterwards or like completely drained?
no, I do not get drained, and let me tell you why.
Oh,
I could
okay.
do 15 people every 30 minutes and I don't get drained. Now, maybe later, like 2 hours later, maybe, but because it's not me, it's not my information. I will not remember anything that we talked. I won't remember who passed away for you. I won't remember anything I told you because I channel it through and it does not go in my memory bank.
Oh,
And
okay.
when I first started doing readings, it kind of was freaky because I could be doing 10 hours of readings and I don't remember anything. My husband was like, "Oh, how'd your day go?" And I'm like, "I think,"
I don't know.
and he'd look at
I
me
think
like,
it went well, yeah.
"Oh," and I'm like, "Well, I don't remember anything. Now,
Yeah.
if we talk about it like afterwards, like right after, or if I write it down, a little bit will go in my memory, but I don't want it to go in my memory because it can be very heavy. And it
Yeah.
and I read in a day, I can read up to 10, 11 people in a day. So that's a lot to soak up in your brain. The only
Mhm.
thing I feel bad about is like, I'll remember you, right? I'll remember you like a heartbeat, and I'll remember, a couple little things that we talked about, but then I'll feel bad because I'm like, I don't even remember who passed away for you, because
Yeah.
when I feel bad, sometimes they're like, oh, that's not very personable, but it's just the way that I channel. And a lot of
Mhm.
readers authentic readers that will not remember. They shouldn't remember, because then if they remember every single reading, their ego came in, right? So they might have got triggered. Their experience could have came in. They might have turned it into some sort of counseling session instead,
Hmm.
Now, saying that, I mean, I have a good rapport with a lot of my clients, and we chit chat and we talk about things and everything, and we have a great time. But
Mhm.
you want to make sure that if you, especially if there's something you really want to know, or if you really want to connect with somebody, make sure that you feel very confident and comfortable with the reader. And there will be times, and I've had this happen, where people have come in and they had an expectation of who I was, what I looked like, what I should have looked like, what my room should look like, what music should be playing. And so they instantly put like a block up with me.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
And can I still get through it? Yeah, I can, but that's uncomfortable for them, right? They're all
Mhm.
like, "Ugh." And I'm thinking,
Right.
so I just do my best, and then they usually come back, and we usually have a beautiful relationship after that. But it's
Hmm.
just like, you're always gonna have I've I'm always going to have somebody that's going to test me, or somebody that's going to be like, you don't look very woo woo. I've had that before. People say you're too sparkly, because my nickname is Sparkles, and I tend to sparkle. And
Oh my gosh. I love that though.
yeah, and I'm like, yeah, and I wear like little sparkly slippers, and that type of thing, and I'll be like, well, what am I supposed to look like?
Yeah.
You
What
want
do
me to
they
come
want you to
in
look like, a
and
hippie or something?
like have a crystal ball and be like, I don't know, if I can do that. That would be fun for me, but no.
Yeah.
So I always tell people, please don't have any expectation. And one thing that I've learned when I do readings is spirit gives you what you need, not what you want. And you
Mm.
have to go into any kind of reading, whether it's connecting with a loved one or whether it's past, present, or future. You have to go in with no expectation, because the expectation, spirit's going to change it on you. If they want you to know something more that's going to benefit you in the long run, that's what they're going to tell you.
Okay, yeah, because the time I went to the medium, my husband's family came through and not any of my family members. I'm like, why are they hanging around me and not my own family members? But
Because
it's fine.
at that time, your husband probably needed it more than you did.
He did, and there was a specific thing. I didn't even tell the medium what I was there for or anything. I didn't even know why I was there, just was curious. And a really good friend of mine had done it, and she was like, "Come with me. You can go first." I'm like, "Okay." And then she's like, "Oh yeah, this person's coming through," and it was his grandmother, and we were dealing with a lot with his family, and there was a situation where we had bought the grandma's house from his dad and his aunt, and there was a situation between them two, and they didn't get along, and then we bought the house, and there was some backdoor stuff that his dad was trying to do with us. And the thing that kept coming through the grandma was, I wanted Ryan to have it. That's my husband. I wanted Ryan to have it. And when I told him that, he like kind of teared up, and he's like, "Yeah, my grandma did want me to have the house. That was the whole thing." But it destroyed the family. Like, the family, it like, because it got so ugly, we had to like create a very strong boundary. um yeah, but the grandma came in strong for me, and she's cool as shit. I mean, I never met her, but and my husband's like, "You two would have been like this." I'm like, I feel like I know her now.
That's
So,
awesome.
yeah, it was really cool. But like you said, like, it wasn't what I wanted to hear, because I wanted to hear something from my past relatives,
Right,
but it
right.
was what we needed to hear at the time. And I didn't realize that until it happened. So that is definitely a true statement. So, how has your work like changed you as a person? Like, has it? Because I know you've said before, like you've had this ability like your whole life, but your mom really saw it in you when you were a child, and right, she has the same abilities as you, and she sort of like helped you.
My grandma.
Your grandmother. I'm sorry.
That's
Yeah.
okay. That's okay. Yeah, my mom has it. My mom has it, and my aunt has it, and my one sister had it. But yeah, my grandma was the one, and I was raised Catholic, and I went to Catholic school, and the whole works, and it was just like a big, ooh, no, no, demon,
Hmm.
ooh,
Yeah, exactly. That's where everyone's mind goes when they think about like anything like psychic or even chakras, or you talk about energies or frequencies. People are like, oh, that's demonic. It's like, no, it's not actually.
Right.
It's
They
very
only
much
do.
biblical.
They're walking around with chakras too. So the ones
Yeah.
that are demonic are have chakras in the front of their body and in the back of their body, which makes me laugh when they say that. I'm like, okay, well, okay.
Yeah, interesting. I didn't know that.
Yeah, everybody has chakras. Every single
Yeah,
person.
but in the back too?
Oh yeah, yeah. You have a front and you have back. You have 100 chakras within your body and meridians, but the main ones that people use are the seven in the front. So the base of the spine up to the crown, but they're in the front and the back, and you need them to both sides. They kind of spiral in the middle, and you want them to be the same speed, same width, same everything. Do you want them to be connected? Because if not, your front could all be aligned, but your back might not be aligned. So you still could be having emotional issues. You could be having like pain somewhere in your back, and you're like, what is happening? I just was aligned.
Oh.
But if they're not looking at the back as well, or the front or whatever, they both have to be aligned. Yeah.
Do you also read chakras? Like if somebody were to have a session with you and they were like, "Hey, could you align my chakras or read my chakras to see
So
if they're
when
aligned?"
yeah, so when I start my readings, the first thing I do to tap into your energy, the first thing is I work with color. So the color is your aura and your chakras. Those
Okay.
pop out at me, the ones that need to pop out at me, and that tells me your personality, your traits, your energy, and then zoom, then I get right in from there.
Oh,
That's
okay.
how I personally get in because I don't use cards. I don't use anything to like I don't, that's everyone like when they have a card, which is great because it opens up a doorway. I don't
Hmm.
have that. I just use a pen and paper and start scribbling, or I just look at you and I'm like, and all these things come out.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah. Yeah. Where were we going before the whole chakra?
Oh, I was asking you like has your ability really kind of like had changed your perspective of like life and things like
Well,
what you do?
yeah, when I opened up Revive, I have Revive Wellness Spa, and it's almost 12 years in May. So once I opened up Revive, I was able to fully be 100% myself. Even up until that moment, I was still hiding. I was still not telling people. I was still like I'd get these things, like one of my coworkers would say, "Oh, I think I'm gonna buy this car," and I'm thinking, maybe you should wait, maybe just a little bit, maybe this isn't the month, and wouldn't tell them why I was saying that,
Hmm.
and they'd be like, "Oh, I'm so glad I listened to you. What your guts on fire," and I'm like, "Yeah, sometimes, and I would just
Yeah.
and it's just because I was always raised where it's not a good thing to be who you are because I
Hmm.
might scare people and I don't want to scare people and I don't want people to think I'm like a witch or something because I'm not.
Hmm.
I'm just me. But when I
Yeah.
opened up Live, I was able to shed all that and I was able to be like, this is who I am. I'm still the same person that you knew,
Hmm.
these all these years. It's just one little thing different, it's just one little thing and then the funny thing is some of my close friends, they were not shocked. Like here I am like, oh my God, I just want to let you know I opened up Revive and this is what I'm going to do in it. And they're like, oh my God, that is so you. And I'm like,
Yeah, like they always knew. They were like, "Oh yeah, we know. We knew
yeah,
you were like that." That's
yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
That's cool.
So it's just like one of those things where I'm just like, oh my gosh, like here I am thinking I'm being so sneaky and they knew the whole time.
Yeah.
But yeah, but it has changed me. It lets me see the world the way that it really is. I don't hold back. I mean, meaning like this is who I am. You either love it, hate it. You don't have to understand it, but please try to respect it as I respect your wishes, your beliefs. I feel like my job on this earth is to help people the best way that I can, whether that's through healing, teaching, mediumship, psychic work, whatever that is, whatever the person needs, and I meet them literally where they're at. And so like if you come into me and you're like, yeah, I want this, but then whoom, I feel this resistant, I nope, we'll go as far as you're comfortable,
Yeah.
and then we'll just keep going like that. I never shove it under anybody. I don't present. I don't say, hi, I'm Kirsten. I'm a psychic medium. You will never ever hear me say that, because
Mm-hmm.
yes, that's what I am, but I'm really just Kirsten. Right.
Mm-hmm.
So there's many parts of Kirsten. It's not just psychic medium. And I do that because I think I've been trained that way because I had to hide so much. But I don't want people to just label me and say, oh, well, she's, you know, don't go talk to her because she's a psychic medium. You know, I don't, so now I'm just like, yeah. And then if they're like, well, what do you do? I present with a lot of things that I do. I'm an esthetician, I'm a business owner, I'm a teacher. I also am a healer. I'm intuitive, I'm a psychic, I'm a medium. And then I usually throw that in somewhere depending on how the person is. Now, if they're really woo woo and they love this stuff, I'm like, yeah, I'm a psychic medium, I'm an esthetician, I'm a healer. I just feel the room, I read the room.
Yeah. And then when you say all those things and then you say psychic medium at the end, they're like, wait, what?
Yes. They're like,
Tell
no
me more
way.
about that.
You are? Or they'll be like this. Oh, oh.
That's like, they're judging you, but they don't want to say. They're just like, oh, okay.
I had one lady say to me after I told her, well, she was reading the brochure, and then she was like, well, who's the psychic medium? And I was like, that's me. And she goes, oh. And she goes, but you're so nice. And I was like, yeah.
Are they supposed to be mean? Like,
You see the movies and you see, and what her beliefs is, and I just said, well, yeah, I try to be, I'm just me, I'm so glad you came in though, it was great.
yeah.
And she's still in, and now, she's wonderful and we have a great rapport, and
Yeah.
she's now probably one of Revive's best cheerleaders. And it's not because she's
Oh, that's
like
awesome.
a
Yeah.
medium, everything else we do in there, she never come to me for that, but she talks to me and we hug and wish each other happy holidays, and there's
Yeah.
no issue. So it's awesome. Yeah.
Oh, that's cool. Maybe someday she'll come to you and be like, okay, now I'm curious. I gotta know.
Well, she listens, trust me. Like when I'm talking, if I'm at the front desk or something, she's like, so.
She's curious. She's just feeling it out.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is there a question that you wish people would ask you, but they never do? Is there anything like that you've always thought, like, I wish people would ask this about, what I do or
I don't think so, because it's pretty amazing the questions that I'm asked. I mean,
Mhm.
you'd be shocked at some of the things
Yeah.
I'm asked. Let me think. I cannot think of
If
any.
you don't know one, we don't have to put that in. I was just curious. I do have some quick takes to start wrapping up the episode. Okay, so I'm going to throw out a few things that people hear a lot, okay? And tell me your quick, honest take, okay? So maybe like a one or two word or even just like a sentence when I say the word or phrase, okay? Guardian angels,
Amazing. Love lean out with everybody.
okay? I already said the word. Demonic oppression,
I don't put much thought into it. They don't bother me. And I don't think they should bother anybody else.
okay? Energy cleansing.
Amazing. Everybody should do it at least daily or at least once or twice a week.
And then we talked about, so would that be the same as like grounding?
Grounding, getting healings, making sure like if you're empathic, making sure like you do a sweep off of yourself, saging yourself.
Okay,
Yeah.
how do you do a sweep? You're just going like this, like taking like almost like you're washing yourself, like you're getting the
Just,
negative energies off of you.
I call it sloughing. That's my own term. I slough the energy off of me. I sage all around me, my room, my space, my palms of my hands, the soles of my feet. Yeah.
Why the
One,
palms of your hands and the soles of your
we have
feet?
chakras here, and we're
Okay.
always touching, and we're always like touching or grabbing, and energy gets slapped everywhere. So if when you're walking and say you're walking on the ground and somebody that maybe had a bad energy or was like really negative, and all of a sudden you walk over that same spot, you're going to feel it. And you're like, oh my gosh. Or say somebody opened up, grabbed a handle, a door handle, and then you grabbed you could absorb that energy.
Okay.
So I either like do this or I sage. I always wash my hands, but sometimes saging's better because I don't want that energy on.
Yeah. Do you have to do that every day?
I sage every day, but I work
Okay.
with a lot of people every day,
Oh yeah, that's a good point. Yeah. That's
So
true.
I sage my space, I sage myself all the time.
Okay. Ouija boards.
I love them. I'll tell you why. They do not have to be negative. You create the energy that you want to bring in. I did a segment with Brittany,
Mhm.
and we only had really beautiful love and light angels came through the Ouija board. So it's just
Yeah,
a
I saw that was like during the spooky season mini series that you guys did. I think there were like 2 or 3 episodes. That was really good.
Thank you. The thing is the Ouija board is just cardboard. It's made out of a toy factory. So people put so much emphasis on this board, but it's not the board. It's what you're bringing in. It's your connection. It's your guides bringing it in. It's the board's just a toy, really.
Why do you think so much like negative like stigmatism is attached to a Ouija board? Like growing up, I heard Ouija board, throw it out. I've even heard stories where, and I don't believe them, but where people will say, "Oh yeah, I got rid of my Ouija board in my closet and I felt the house seemed like less negative energy. And then we took it out to the backyard and we tried to burn it in a bonfire, but it wouldn't burn." I don't believe any of that. Like, because we were always taught that. And then also like rock music CDs and stuff and play like
Right.
that's so I can't. I just,
So it's a belief system, and you
yeah,
believe
for
it,
sure.
and you absorb it, and you accept it. And it's the movies, right? The movies, and it's all the old, people like, oh my gosh, I was in a cult, like, and they said if we did a Ouija, da, da, da. It's all hearsay word and what's projected on the movie screen. That's all it is. If they didn't come out with all those scary movies with that Ouija board, nobody would have a thing about it. They really wouldn't.
Do you think that maybe Hollywood knows something that like most people don't about Ouija boards, that they're trying to make Ouija boards out to be like a negative, scary thing so that people don't use them because they actually are a good thing and they can give us answers? Or am I like overthinking that? I'm kind of a conspiracy theorist a little bit. So it's like when it comes to like Hollywood and like what's being hidden from us, but then they say like they have to tell us, but they don't have to tell us the whole thing. And I don't know.
So I think there are some people that are probably that, but I do feel a lot of it is ticket sales. I really do. I,
Okay. So it's more like a, people have like a fascination. And if it's scarier, then they're going to be more apt to buy tickets. It's like that like adrenaline rush that people get when they watch a scary movie. Okay.
yeah.
I can see that. Yeah, I can see that. I'm not one of those people. I am not going to see a scary movie. I am definitely not going to see a movie that has like demonic possession or anything like that in it.
Neither. I don't do scary.
Mm-mm.
That's never been my thing. I'm always about rainbows and butterflies and love and light. I get, yeah, I don't do scary anything.
But to your point earlier about when we talked about fear, and fear is really like a almost like a magnet or like a portal or whatever, I guess would you say
Yeah.
that is a true statement? Okay. To these negative entities and negative energies,
Mhm.
then what would you say to people who are like, I love scary movies. I love being scared. I love the adrenaline rush. Is that something like maybe they should like take pause and be like, hey, maybe I got to figure out why I like to be scared?
I mean, you could, but I think it's just people's entertainment. I really think it's just their
Yeah.
and if there are some dark people and negative people that, I mean, sometimes people are looking to relate to something so much and grasp onto something so much, and if they're in negative energy, they're probably going to grasp onto that you know and I'm talking
Okay.
about the people that actually like take those scary movies to a whole new level and start, wearing the paraphernalia and start, type of thing.
Yes.
I think everybody's looking for a place to fit or looking to a place that resonates with them. And I think sometimes people, like even like the Harry Potter people, like how many Harry Potter people walk around looking like Harry Potter and they
Right.
stuff. Everybody's trying to belong somewhere. I don't really look at it as like they're a negative being. Like I have some really close friends that they love horror movies. Oh my gosh, they watch them during Christmas time. Like
Oh, wow.
they decorate their Christmas trees and they make ornaments and stuff. But they're the most positive, loving people. I just think that's just their thing. It's their inner.
Yeah. Yeah. Like they can just like kind of compartmentalize that and be like, this is just entertainment. It doesn't mean anything to me. It's just fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. All right. I get that. I don't understand it, but I get it. I get it.
And the reason I don't like scare, I don't like to be scared. Like
I
my
don't either.
I'm so empathic and I'm so sensitive. It's just like my nerves are just like, oh, I'm constantly, because I'm always with spirit. I'm always being talked to. There's a 24/7. I'm da, 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 da. So you bring and I'm like, and it's not because I'm absorbing it or anything. It's just like, it's just not my thing. I like to be up high, and the higher my vibration is, the more
Yeah.
my connection is, you
Yeah,
know?
same. And I feel like if I watch a scary movie or something like really heavy, it stays with me for a long time. Like the images in my head and the just the feeling that I get, and I don't like that. So I just avoid it altogether. I don't like it. Even if like a preview comes on the TV for a new scary movie, I'm just like, darn it.
Right? I get that.
Like I don't want it anywhere in my sphere. Yeah. Me and my spirit squad are not jiving with that.
Not jiving. Not jiving at all. I get that too.
So, okay, before we wrap up, I have one last thing. Okay. So, my husband and I are both very him and I are like on the same wavelength with a lot of things like in life when we're business owners, we've done a lot of like crazy risky thing like to the average person would be like I can't believe you would just up and leave a successful business you've had in Michigan for 10 plus years and just move to Florida and try and start from scratch, which is literally what we're doing. But him and I have such strong visions for our future, but we don't know how it's going to happen. We just kind of like have always been open to feeling this, and it would be considered like spirit guidance,
Mhm.
where we've both been just, it's a very powerful something telling us you need to do this. And we've said time and time again, like multiple times throughout our relationship, somebody's looking out for us. Well, it's obviously our spirit squad.
Yeah. Totally.
But like certain things will just fall into place. Like even just us selling our house in Michigan and the people that we sold it to and the different signs that came along the way. There was actually a little nod from my dad that was a very obvious nod. And I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. Like this is my dad. This is like him being like, haha, it's me. And then the way that it sold and how quickly, and then us finding the house that we have now, and just everything fell into place. And so we also feel like that, like even with our future, like there's something big that we're meant to do, but we don't know yet. What kind of things can we be doing to sort of set ourselves up? Like if somebody else is listening and is like, yeah, my sister and I want to go on this business venture, but we're not sure we feel a very strong pull to do this certain thing or to go this certain place or whatever the case may be. What kind of advice would you give to somebody like that?
My best advice for someone like that, and I live my life this way, is I don't push it, I flow with it. And
Mhm.
so when everything falls into place perfectly, the way like your house did and everything else, that knows that you are literally going by what is guided. You are letting your guides guide you, and you're not letting
Mhm.
your ego get in the way. You're not letting
Mhm.
fear get in the way. You just know in your heart of hearts, like, this is what we're going to do. This is what we both want to, succeed. And you will always have success when you just let it flow. And that's very
Mm.
hard for people to do. right? Because you have to like, well, I need a plan, and it's got to and it. But
Yeah.
what we're doing is when we do that, we're stopping it, right? So we
Okay.
stop the timeline. Remember, your soul contract, you already have all this set up. You already have your timelines all set up. You've already made the decisions of what you're going to do, where you're going to be, who's going to be in your life, what your career is going to be. You're going to start over. Now just live it. Just
Hmm.
live it because you're doing it. And so if something feels off, trust it. If something feels right, trust it. Don't overthink it and don't sabotage it, because that's what we
Okay.
do. That's the human side of us, right?
Yes. That's so true. And like you said, like I'm a planner, so I want to be in a control of what that's looking like. And I'm like, and my husband's like, you just gotta trust it. You just gotta trust the plan and you gotta trust the process. And I'm like, ah,
A
you
hundred
know.
percent right. But that's also part of a life lesson for you, is letting go of that control to
Hmm.
trust the process. Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, you know you and your husband are going to be okay. At the
Yeah.
end of the day, you know that you and your husband aren't going to let anything get in your way. So
Hmm.
you know that. But when we focus too much on the future and we're focusing too much on like yesterday, you're not being present and you're not living today. So you're pushing your timeline back. So stay
Hmm.
and focus on just today.
Okay, so when you say like it's already been written in the contract, does that mean it's like technically already happened?
Yeah, it's gonna happen, because unless you, free will can change it, so you guys can totally like wake up one day and say, no, we're changing the plan. But that usually doesn't happen. So basically, it's already set. Remember how I said like this is your movie, now go act in it, like you did your screenplay, and now
Mm-hmm.
just go with what feels right.
Okay.
It's a
So
process.
your contract can be changed.
It can be, but it's very rare that you change it. That's like for someone like me comes in and says, "Hey, guess what? I'm going to blueprint this for you." We never want to blueprint as readers, and then you could be like, "Well, I don't want that, and
Right.
I don't want that in 27. I want it in 28." Then
Mm.
you can alter your path to make it happen when you think you want to make it happen. But it's already set for you. You just got to let it happen and know that you're only going to put in your contract for your highest good and to learn lessons. Our contract, we are here to learn lessons. That's why we're here. So
Mm-hmm.
every little thing that happens to us, and like all the humps and bumps and the tragedies or whatever you want to call them, I always sit there and say, okay, what did I learn about this? First, I cry about it and I pout for a hot second. And then I go back and I'm like, first, why would I pick this? And then after that, I say, what am I learning from the situation? What am I learning? Now,
Mm-hmm.
here's the thing, you may not learn in that particular second, but there is always a lesson. Always, always, and forever lesson. And if it's not for you, it could be someone in your circle. It could be for your husband. It could be for your kids. It could be for your coworkers or whatever it may be.
I'm so glad you said that because I have a lot of listeners who are survivors. They're cult survivors, they're abuse survivors, they've had, religious trauma, and a lot of them don't understand why those things have happened to them. I am also a survivor of domestic abuse. My first marriage was abusive. It took me 20-ish years to decide that I'm going to take this bad situation and turn it into something positive. And so now I have this podcast where I'm able to sit down with survivors and help them, through their healing process, and to say like I kind of reclaimed, my own power, and I said, I'm not going to let him have power over me anymore. Maybe physically he's not able to, or even like mentally one on one like he used to, but he still had power over me because I was having like a visceral reaction. Anytime I would even hear his name, it was affecting me emotionally. I would get angry and like my blood would boil, best way to put it. And now I'm able to say his name and not have any reaction whatsoever. I'm like neutral, like I just don't care. I've been able to let a lot of those emotions go. And I always tell people like forgiveness isn't condoning what happened to you and giving that person a pass. It's letting go of basically what happens to them is up to the universe. Like you're letting go of that because you need to be able to heal. And so to be able to take that positive from a negative and help people, that's what I feel like my mission is at this point. And but I'm glad that you mentioned that because the soul contract, some people could be like, well, I never wanted to be abused. Like, how can you say like I wrote that my soul contract or I agreed to that before I was born? That's a hard pill to swallow. It's really hard to think about.
It is. That's why you have to look at it with different eyes. Once you're through it, right? You can't when you're in the thick of it, but
Hmm.
you can be like, okay, I got myself out of this. Oh, thank goodness. What did I learn from that whole thing? And look what you've learned. So now you have a voice for others that maybe are still in the thick of it and still not you have
Yeah.
either afraid to leave or afraid to, and I mean, you've taken a horrible, tragic situation and you're making it into something absolutely remarkably beautiful. And so that's what I would say. That was what you learned from it, and hopefully your lesson will help someone else. So it's
Yeah.
a beautiful thing. I'm so glad you're doing this. So glad you're doing this.
Yeah. And hopefully I don't have to relearn the lesson in the next life. 'Cause
No, I don't think
I swear I've learned my lesson. I don't need another go around.
yeah, you're not going to have to learn that lesson. I can tell you that.
All
uh,
loving them here.
yes, yes, please, yes.
Well, Kirsten, this has been so fun, and I'm so glad you were able to do this with me. We definitely need to do a part two because I didn't even scratch the surface of all the questions I had. And like there were listener questions and everything. And some of the listeners are going to be so mad that I didn't ask. But I know that, you have stuff to do and it's a busy day for you, I'm sure. So you guys, I am so glad that you are here listening with us today. And please leave a comment, give us some feedback. Kirsten, how can people find you?
So the best way is you can. I have a place in Flushing, Michigan. It's called Revive Wellness Spa, and you can look it up, and you'll see our phone number there. We also have Facebook. We have all our social medias. Revive Mind, Body, Soul. So that is the best way, or through you. But yeah, so definitely look us up. We have Revive Wellness Studio and Revive Wellness Spa. So we do yoga, meditations, classes, events, everything as well as services. So. Yeah,
Cool. And then for people who don't live in Michigan, is there a way that they're able to have a reading with you remotely?
absolutely. I do a lot of that. I'm out of the country. I read for people out of the country, out of state, everything. So we could do FaceTime, we could do Zoom, or we could just do phone. Yep, absolutely. Some people, it's fun to see each other, but
Yeah.
people are like, oh, I don't know how to do that. I'll just use the phone. That works too. I can tap into anybody, anywhere. It all works the same.
Cool. Well, I'll definitely be calling and making an appointment with you.
Maria. But I want to thank you so much for taking the time and the opportunity to let me speak on something I absolutely love. I could talk about this all day long. So,
Yes. Well, we're definitely going to have you back for sure. And maybe my husband will join me next time. Sometimes he comes on the podcast with me and yeah, he will absolutely want to talk to you. So, well,
that would be
thank you
so
so
much fun. Okay, let's.
Yay! Thank you so much, Kirsten. If this conversation with Kirsten left you feeling intrigued, unsettled, comforted, or even questioning everything, you're exactly where you are supposed to be. Exploring the spiritual realm can feel rebellious when you were raised to believe that curiosity was dangerous and certainty was holy. But curiosity doesn't mean you're lost. Sometimes it just means you're paying attention. Whether you believe in psychic mediums, spirits, angels, or none of the above, let this episode just be a doorway, not a demand. Take what resonates, release what doesn't, and trust yourself enough to explore without fear. If this episode stirred something in you, share the Unholier podcast with somebody who lives in the in between. Faith and doubt, skepticism and wonder, logic and mystery. Because being unholier than thou doesn't mean you've lost the light. It might mean you're finally brave enough to look into the dark. Thank you for listening. Before we close out, I just want to share a quick reminder. The stories told on this podcast are personal experiences and perspectives. They're shared to create awareness and connection, not as medical, legal, or mental health advice. Some of the conversations here focus on abuse, trauma, and other heavy topics, so please take care of yourself while listening. It's always okay to pause, skip an episode, or step away if you need to. And if anything we talked about brings something up to you, we encourage you to reach out to a trusted professional or a support resource. You don't have to carry any of this alone. Thank you for listening.